isn't it? Traditional theosophical models describe the higher mind, which forms part of the reincarnating ego, as being separate from the lower mind, with the two being separated by a bridge known as the antakarana. This concept of the idea of the two being linked by a bridge, and somehow they're completely separate. The antakarana is actually, it pops up as Jacob's ladder in the Christian Bible. That bridge between higher and lower mind. Now in this model, the higher mind survives to the next incarnation, the lower mind doesn't. Strictly speaking, yes, that is correct, that the personality is lost and you get a new personality. But the idea is too simple in the idea that there is actually a higher mind as a separate thing from a lower mind. I'll come to that. Now I'd say there's no rigid division between levels of mind and thought. I postulate that although higher and lower levels of mind can be discerned by the levels of vibration created by higher and lower thought, and we're taught that everything in the universe is vibration, and it's something that comes up in a lot of the New Age ideas, particularly The Secret is in. Who has not seen the film The Secret? There we are. Everyone's seen it. Oh, I'm going. You haven't seen it. I am absolutely amazed. Someone of your status, intellect and worldly knowledge has not seen it.
Is it the well known Mark? Is it the same as the book? I've read the book.
Oh well, that's as good. You've read the book, yeah. Okay. There's lots of things to talk about. Levels of vibration come up in that, and also we did have somebody here, and this showed the levels of vibration of various groups, and there was one. The Ku Klux Klan have one of the lowest or something because they had a vibration of anger or something. It was an American presentation, and then various levels of vibration, different types of groups and churches and religions, but the higher levels of thought have greater vibrations than the lower. I propose that the mind has three broad functions, and these often overlap, and that all levels of mind contribute to the experience retained by the reincarnating ego. That even sort of your emotion and certainly your rational mind does contribute to life experience and to the experience that's retained by what is termed the higher self, the reincarnating ego, even though it is not generated possibly at the highest level of mind, or does not vibrate at the highest level of thought.
So what are the three functions?
I'm glad you asked that. No, it's one more to that. I'll come into that. The higher self is more than higher mind. Now, Huna that we've done here has a higher self connection. The higher self, the higher thought processes can't function without the collaboration with the Buddhic principle. The Buddhic principle can't express itself without using the higher thought processes as an ancillary. So any true contact with the higher self must involve both the mind, generally, not just the higher mind, the mind, any level of mind, and the Buddhic principle. So I make that distinction that just the idea of higher thought is not the higher self. Right. Three functions of mind. Okay, I would say there's three broad functions of mind. Enlightened knowledge, that's spiritual aspiration, spiritual knowledge, spiritual awareness. Practical and intellectual thought, and we need that in order to gain experience and to cope with the world. As I say, to refer to it as the lower mind negates it, I think. It's more valuable than just lower mind, just being written off as lower mind.
No, it's just that it doesn't carry on reincarnating ego, does it?
It doesn't, but it
That's how it's
influences it.
separate. Yes, but it is separate in that it doesn't travel into a reincarnating ego.
No, that's true. Yes, that it contributes, but it's only the very a sort of distilled essence of the spiritual experience, spiritual progress of life that carries on. Yes. Okay, desire-driven thought, and a lot of sort of inner work processes look at the idea that if you're driven by desire, you have no control, and there's various analogies. The horse and cart one that Gurdjieff used, where the horse goes where it wants and the driver doesn't control it, and the idea is that you, and Buddhists are really into this, that you bring your desire principle under control. Okay, anybody want to say anything on that? That's my.
I think.
I'm going to quote from a book which I haven't read, but
That's a good start.
I did the book at random, and I just read a paragraph or a chapter.
And it just have to open at that page, yeah.
Yeah. So the theory was, before man, I'm not talking about Darwin, because I don't believe in that. I think Darwin had it half right. I think that
I think there's something in. No, I'm not saying Darwin's totally wrong. It has its limitations.
It's got limitations.
Yeah.
It's got limitations. So I think that man has been around before.
Yes.
Other animals on the.
Yeah, we are the seventh. We are the fifth mass reincarnation of 7 mass reincarnations of humanity in the current cosmic era.
Okay.
There are 2 more to come.
But
we haven't always looked like this.
Okay, well. so man came on this earth, and then. But where did he get his thoughts from?
We developed the mind principle. That makes us different from the animal kingdom. We have the mind principle, that we are aware of who we are, we're aware that we're in the cosmos. In fact, the fact that we're made out of the universe, and I can say this because Roger's not here, the fact that we're made out of the universe and that we're aware that we're in it makes the universe aware of its own existence. How about that then?
That's fine.
You can't say that animals don't know that they exist.
No, we can't know that for certain.
We don't know.
No, you were
at all.
right. I'm making quite an assumption there.
Yeah.
But I would say that on the whole, we have reached a point where we're not only aware of our own existence, we can determine our own spiritual development, and we have a say now. We have some control over our own evolution. Like we can all live beyond 150 soon, the way it's going, and that sort of thing.
I did read a theory once, and I can't remember who wrote the book. It was called The Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind and the Origin of Consciousness.
Yeah.
And it was a groundbreaking book, and he said that if this is true, it sort of turned everything up on its head. But the idea was that before we became physical, there was a non-physical thought way.
That's right. We're consciousness trying to find expression.
Consciousness was looking for a vehicle to
Yeah.
take in.
That's right. Also,
Theosophy like blotting paper. Our brains were like blotting paper, and then consciousness infected our brains. We picked up consciousness, and because we picked up consciousness, our thoughts were given to us from the gods. We call them gods.
Well, consciousness is what drives our evolution. In fact, drives all evolution. Theosophy postulates that at the very lowest level of the ladder of life, there are 3 elemental kingdoms which consist of beings which have consciousness at a certain level, but no physical form, and physical form is then acquired.
Yes.
So we existed as consciousness before we acquired physical form. All consciousness is trying to find expression, and we're the ultimate. As we are now, we are the result of that expression as far as the human kingdom is concerned. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah.
It's a bit like babies, isn't it? It's pre-language. Because babies are just pure consciousness, and they probably don't think in words or whatever.
No, they think in something, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that same thing, isn't it? Consciousness trying to find expression,
awareness.
And you do it through language.
That's right. That we've invented language. We haven't always had language.
Yeah.
In fact, that's another thing that there are animals that have language, but
when a child is young, its brain is more malleable. Its parents restrict a child's thought by their actions, by telling the child, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that.
Are you familiar with Emil Durkheim?
No.
He said that whatever you are, whatever society you're brought up in, you are the product of that society, and there's nothing you can do about it. You may be able to sort of achieve a level of self-awareness, objective awareness of yourself later on, but as you're brought up in it, if you're, I suppose, a Japanese baby brought up in Riyadh would be an Arab.
Yeah.
You know. That's,
Yeah. Yes, we are limited by our environment.
that's right. Yeah. So, you know, like the lad from Norway came to on a cultural exchange to Burnley. That's an oxymoron, cultural exchange in Burnley. But he went to school on skis in the winter. We all heard about this in the paper. He went to school on skis in the winter, and the one thing he was looking forward to in Burnley, amazing, was that he could go on a bus where you could go upstairs, because he'd never seen one.
Well, there's not much else in
Well, I went
these
on the bus upstairs yesterday, but the windows were all missing up. I thought, I've been on a bus upstairs